Hello, my name is Tiffany Putman. I am an educational accessibility counselor for Tidewater Community College at the Norfolk campus. Most of what I plan to show you today is called assistive technology. Assistive technology are products, equipment, and systems that enhance learning, working, and daily living for persons with disabilities. Like most of us in the field, who work with individuals with disabilities, we know that a lot can be used from assistive technology. A lot of it gets incorporated in everyday living. For example, automatic doors. Everybody loves automatic doors. It makes life easier, especially today. Voice recognition software and word prediction. So all of those are examples of assistive technology. Today, we will be looking at assistive technology that's going to help you in a virtual learning environment. I know for many people, this is a huge transition from in-person, face-to-face classes to online. So this is just some helpful IT that hopefully will make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so the tech focus areas that we're going to concentrate on right now, reading. When you say why reading, ask anyone who has any kind of experience with virtual learning and they will tell you that having good reading skills are critical because everything now is written. Conversations are now written. Your instructions are now written, your questions are now written, all of your interactions or most of your interactions are going to be written. So that's a skill that is going to be put to use. Also, all of that reading that you have to do, reading directions, reading conversations, that's in addition to reading the textbook. So that adds even more time and you can really get bogged down and it can gobble up a lot of time trying to get through all that reading. So that's why we're focusing on that area. Another area is writing. So of course, having to do a lot of reading, you're also going to have to respond, and that's through writing. Also, just having to do compositions and things, it's always a good skill to have is to be good at writing. So having some tech to help in that regard should be useful. Another one is note-taking. Again, note-taking in a virtual environment is very different than note-taking in a face-to-face class. So giving you some tech there to kind of speed things up and make sure that you don't miss anything while you are taking your courses. And then finally, organization. Again, anybody that's taken online classes knows that organization is key to being successful in these classes. So I'm going to show you a couple things. One is already built in, so it's great that it's there. The other one I'm going to show you is an app. And many of the assistive technology that I'm going to share also is available in the form of apps. And I will show you a couple of apps that are also available. All right, we are changing screens now. Back to me. All right, the first thing that I wanted to share was under reading. And this is actually on my desktop, so I guess I will share some more. And it is these two apps right here. This is Natural Reader and this is NVDA. They're both text to voice applications. One is designed for those with learning disabilities and the other is designed for visually impaired and blind individuals. So we're going to start with the Natural Reader. To download it, it's very easy. You go to the website and you look under software and they have different options, but I always encourage students just to do what's free. So here is Natural Reader. And what you're doing is basically uploading whatever files you have. So if your teacher has online material, or if your textbook is an e-textbook, it's quite simple to upload it. If not, you can cut and paste. It depends on how you want to do this. The application takes Word and PDF documents. So we're going to start with a psychology text book and upload the entire thing. It may take a little time to do. There it is, not as much as I thought. Okay. And we're going to scroll through to some text so you can see how it works in the application. And I'm hoping it will pick up the reading aloud. So let's start here. The good thing about the okay. Okay. So I'm going to stop it right there. You have some options when it comes to controlling the reader. Um, Again, this button is to upload a file. This is to play or pause. This is to change it to an MP3 file if you like. This is the language. I always have it on David Desktop. You could choose to change it to a female voice. I haven't heard the female voice, so let's change it and see what that's like. And then this is the most useful option, is changing the speeds. As you see, the reading went by pretty fast, so I'm going to slow it down to maybe a -1. And let's go further into the text. Again, because this is designed for people with learning disabilities, there are all sorts of different options on the side that are helpful for the for individuals, and you can explore that on your own. Another thing you notice is if I put the cursor over a certain line, it changes color ever so slightly. So you can start and stop wherever you choose. Okay. Something else to notice too is that there are actual closed caption at the bottom, and there is an option to change that for dyslexia, because there's a different type of font that is used for folks with dyslexia. So that's a good option, but that is natural reader in a nutshell. Now, NVDA stands for non-visual desktop access, and it's a little bit more I guess invasive because it reads everything. So let me launch that. Okay. So when I say it reads everything, it literally reads everything. So it does have instructions for you to read that will tell you about the commands. So if you ever start using it and you're wondering how to go through, because this is quite different, it's designed for somebody who cannot see. So you can use your mouse, but most of the commands are going to be through the app itself, through tabbing and enter. Shift tab will take you backwards. I'll demonstrate that in a class. Hang on one second. It's still reading everything. So, um, okay, okay, okay. So as you can see, it does literally read everything. So if you're wanting to go through online text, you can, I'm sorry, hitting the control button will pause the reading, but you can just put the cursor over the information and it will read it for you. But if you want to use the keys, you can use the tab keys. Um, I'm sorry, I keep moving the cursor and that's why it keeps pausing. But you can see the NVDA is very, very invasive. It literally, let's go down here. it will read everything. I think everybody gets the point. To stop it, again, you can press Control or simply exit out the application. And then once you exit, it will stop. I promise. Yes. Maybe I have to do it here. Close. There we go. It's finally closed. So as you can see, you really do need to practice with some of these applications. It's quite different on my desktop than it is on my laptop, and I'm on my laptop right now. So that was very interesting. So again, I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see what we else. Oh, I wanted to show you Word. That's what I wanted to do. So let's bring up a file. A new file in Word. Okay. All right. And let me share my screen again. Okay. So when you're in Word, Microsoft Word already comes with several different options for reading and other assistive tech. So to get it, you're going to go to this little icon right here. This is your tools menu. You're going to go to more commands, and then it defaults to popular commands. You're going to go to all commands. And then, of course, you're going to scroll down all the way down until you see the word speak and you have this little icon, and then you press add. I'm not going to do that just to save time, but that's how you add it. And once it's added, it will actually be up here. And so simply what you do is you highlight it and press. Okay. And then you just click it to get it to stop. So that's pretty useful too, to be able to go through and have something dictate to you or read out loud to you. You can see that it will help to get through some of the material. You could have your earphones on, especially if you have an electronic textbook and can go through all of that. But even as you're doing your labs, you can still play it and stop it and do what you need to do in all of your classes. So those were the main reading text that I wanted to go through. Since we're already in Word, I actually want to go back to sharing my screen. I will pull up another Word document, which is plain. So this is going to bring us to our next technology, which is for writing. So again, in the same, if you already don't have a dictation microphone, go ahead and get more command, go down to the commands, more commands. You're going to go down until you see dictation. You're going to press add, and then dictation menu will be here. And then you press OK. Okay, I've already done that. So if you simply want to get your thoughts together in a Word document, this is pretty convenient. So I've got to move my, to dictate, oh, I didn't wait, I'm sorry. To dictate, it may be a little bit of a delay, period. But you see, it does a pretty good job picking up what you say, period. And I just ended it. So you can hear a noise when you activate it, and then you can also hear a noise when you deactivate it. So that's how you do it inside of an application. Another application that I wanted to share, and since I have so many things open, I don't want to confuse anybody. Let's go to, this was one of the cooler ones that I found. This is actually called Web Captioner. And you simply go to webcaptioner.com and press start captioning, and it starts captioning what you say. So it's starting to caption what I say. The writing is very large, which makes it easy to read. So maybe if you have your class um, on where you're using it on the phone, and then it's dictating here at the end, you're able to actually get a transcript and go through it. So that's a quick way to get notes. So I guess we're checking off the writing as well as the note taking with this web captioner app. And don't worry if you don't capture all of this, I have a list at the end of the presentation. So we are going to stop captioning. Okay. And again, it's very straightforward. It's very straightforward. Do you want to save it? Do you want to copy it? You want to trash it? That kind of thing. So that is the web captioning software there. Another one that's good, and this one comes as an app also, is speech notes. So again, just like the web captioner, you would hit this and it would just start dictating whatever you say. They also give you a nice column here of commands, including period, comma, question mark, colon. And as you can see, it does recognize those commands. And then it shows you out to the side what it is. So again, if you wanted to just quickly get down some thoughts and get a starting point or take some notes, these applications are really good. Now, this says that this is a beta test, so it's not exactly as clean as the phone application. But again, you could do the opposite. You can have your phone, have the app for speech notes, and then be on your computer doing your class and capturing your notes that way. Okay. And there's a couple apps that I'll save for the end that I want you guys to actually try. They're I just discovered them literally today, and I'm really enthusiastic about it. I may try and do this workshop again and come back with more information about the phone apps that I'm going to talk about at the end of this. There is another app. It's called Otter Voice, and I do want to share that one with you. It's a little bit different. I'm trying to keep everything that I show free, even if there is a low cost to it. I don't like having to advertise or talk about things that students have to pay for. I feel like things like that should really be no cost if you're a student. So this is Otter IA, and the AI, excuse me, and AI stands for artificial intelligence. It's really a neat application because not only does it record, but it allows you to label the speakers and go back and make all these changes. And it can be useful in meetings and even in class. So you'll know what part of the transcription your teacher said and what part came from other students. So to test it out, we're just going to simply make a quick note here in AI. And I'm going to pause and try and make a different voice so it thinks it's somebody else. Let's see how intelligent the AI is. Hello, I'm speaker number 2. I think my accent is hard to pick up. Anyway, my accent is horrible. I'm not good at voices, but you see how it's breaking things up. So let me stop recording and let you and show you what it looks like. It still says no processing. It takes a little bit. Click on it and see. Okay. This is the part that I love about Otter AI. It gives you a summary of keywords. So if you use this during a lecture, you're going to already have like a vocabulary list here. And you can even go back and open more. The downside to this is that you get, I think it's 600 minutes a month. So you can't use it every day for everything. So I would be selective about it. You could, if you wanted to, they do have options for purchase for both students and professionals. And the student one is reasonable, but I just, it's a monthly thing and I can't have, you know, I'm already paying for Hulu. If you're like me, paying for Hulu, paying for Netflix, paying for Disney. So the last thing I need is another subscription pulling money out of my bank account. But using this just in the free version is really good. And it's also available as an app for your phone. So speaker one, I can go in and make edits. If I can move this. Let me go back. Play. Okay, we're going to stop that right now. But I think you get the idea of how this works. So this is another option for both writing and especially note taking because of the summary keywords. We have about 20 minutes. Oh, let me show you this other one that I love. Let me stop sharing for a moment and pull it up. This one is called Rewordify. So Rewordify actually allows you to cut and copy and paste text, and it simplifies the language. So I'm going to go back and open my psychology book, and I'm going to cut and paste a section that has some flowery language in it that may be easy to translate. Let's see. Great. Let's see what it does with this. Let me copy this. I'm go back and share my screen once I get it up. I wish there was an easier way to transition back and forth and share screen, but again, please be forgiving. I am very, very new to Zooming in this way. So I'm pasting my text here, and then I press this button. Again, this is rewordify.com. And then and let's see what it did. Okay, so there are a few things that it went and changed. So down here is what I actually pasted, and up here are the changes it made. So let's see. A different criticism of introduction to the study of thinking and behavior instead of the use of the word psychology, which is interesting. There is, let's see, they don't have togetherness is used instead of the word cohesiveness. So this to me is fascinating because again, it's doing just like it said, it's rewording it and simplifying the language. So if you're somebody that struggles with reading and maybe you're not a very strong reader, or maybe you just have a difficult book with a lot of different vocabulary in it, try Rewordify and see what comes out. I don't think you can put like full pages of text. I haven't tested the limits, but it is pretty interesting, and it is a quick way to try and simplify language when you're reading, which should help with increasing the comprehension. So that's also a pretty neat application that falls under reading. I missed that one. Let's see. The last thing I'm going to do is going to concentrate on organization and how to stay on top of everything that you're having to do as a student. So let me now move to going into my Canvas, which has closed, so I have to log back in, so bear with me. I wish there was a way for it to stay open, but I think if you're not active on it, it automatically shuts down. All right, and in Canvas, and now let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So I don't know how many of you have paid attention to the calendar that's inside of Canvas, but this is a really good way of looking at what you have to do. I am on the agenda view, which is also the daily view, so you can see what's due. Sunday, everything's due, apparently at 11:59, everything. I also want to point out too that this is color coded. So things that are purple are going to be for the life science class. It's hard to tell. Some of these are black and some of these are blue. So everything has, and you can go in and change them. It's not that difficult to go in and change the color to what you want it to be. Here's the monthly view, which I like probably the best. Okay, and notice that things that are done are crossed off, which is excellent. And then you also have your weekly view. And very quickly, I think I am running out of time here because it is past 2:30. I think this is supposed to end at 2:30. There's another application that I use a lot called My Homework. And it's a little labor intensive. Unlike the calendar that's built into Canvas, you have to actually add your classes, add your syllabus, also add all of your assignments. But it does have some nice features in here to keep you on track. And again, this is available on your phone as an application, and you can sync it to your calendars, whatever calendars you use. So you can add other things too besides homework in this application. So again, it's really important to keep a list, to keep organized, because being online now, it's easy to kind of just sit back and let things fall between the cracks. So as promised, the last thing I wanted to share with you is the list of the tech. So let me get that up. List of the tech. And share screen. Okay. And just so you can see it better. Ooh, not that one. This one. Again, like I said, I'm still learning how to use this correctly. So again, Natural Reader, NVDA, Rewordify, and of course, Microsoft Word with the Speak command. For writing, you have speech notes, and everything that has an asterisk is also available as an app. Microsoft Word dictate command is also good. For note taking, we have Web Captioner. That's not available as an app, so that is just for desktop. But Otter AI is available as an app. And these are the two that I was excited about that I found out today. There's Google Recorder app. It is an app only, but it does a lot of interesting things. So if you can go and watch the YouTube video, it's fabulous, or just Google it and watch the video on your own. And then Live Transcribe, this is relatively new. It's for Android only, but it allows you, again, similar to Otter AI, to record conversations, and I think it does break it up. And there's all sorts of other things that you could do with it too. And then finally, the last thing we went over were the organization apps, the Canvas, which you can find in your drop-down menu in SIS, and then the homework app, which again, you can, there's the website for it. My name is Tiffany Putman. I hope you've enjoyed my very rough presentation on helpful technology. Here is my information if you want to email. Email is the best way for me right now, but you can also call me at 757-822-1226. Until next time, bye.